Okay, today in Pera Pera class, the fluent speaking class, we're going to focus on 文法 grammar, られる、させる、させられる、られる、させる、させられる。So, to begin with, what's the difference between these three? So let's take an example of 食べる, to eat, 食べる. The first one, 食べられる, 食べられる. The second one, 食べさせる, 食べさせる. The third one, 食べさせられる, 食べさせられる. Do you see the difference? So the first one, to be eaten, 食べられる, to be eaten, or have something eaten, かな? 食べさせる, the second one, to make somebody eat something. So I wrote it as SMB, SMT, but somebody and something. 食べさせる, to make or to force somebody eat something, to do something. The third one, 食べさせられる, to be made to eat something, to be forced to eat something. So that's the difference. Well, grammatically, the first one is called passive sentence. Passive, to be done something. 食べさせる, causative, it's called grammatically, to make somebody do something. The third one, 食べさせられる, to be forced to do something. Causative plus passive. Causative-Passive, it's called grammatically. So let's have a closer look at each. So the first one, 食べられる, 食べられる. Passive. For example, 例えば、ネズミが猫に食べられた. It's a past tense, right? 食べられる, 食べられた. Past tense short form. Just an example. ネズミが猫に食べられた。私のケーキが兄に食べられた。私のケーキが兄に食べられた。私のケーキが兄に食べられた。ですね。Do you know what they mean? ネズミが猫に食べられた。A rat was eaten by a cat. 私のケーキが兄に食べられた。Right? So you're not happy, but you're sometimes mad, you're sometimes annoyed, you're sometimes stressed about being done something by someone. Not as a favor, just as a result of being done something. So usually it's a negative. But 食べられる, this form, you have to be careful that, for example, このキノコは食べられる. Or in daily conversations, you can hear 食べれる, maybe. We usually say 食べれる in shorter version. このキノコは, so it's a subject, right? So this mushroom is eatable. So this 食べられる is not directly passive, but to be able to. So, blah blah られる is basically passive, but it can also is to be able to form as well. The potential form it's called. And 食べる or 見る and these る verbs and 来る in passive form. 食べられる、見られる、来られる. That can also mean to be able to the sort of like potential meaning. And another note, you can have a look at this sentence. よろしければ食べられますか? よろしければ食べられますか? So this 食べられる in must form in the question sentence. よろしければ, so if you like, 食べられますか? Sometimes we also use this as a polite or honorific form as well. So would you like to eat? Instead of 食べますか? 食べますか is that direct sentence, direct question. 食べられますか? When you gently ask somebody, so that would be polite way, honorific form. Would you like to eat? So that's the same form, but basically what we focus on passive form here. 食べられる. Just so you know, these 2 points. Passive form in, grammatical, if a table, you can have a look. So we have 3 different verb types: ru verbs, u verbs, irregular verbs. So ru verb, as in 食べる, will be 食べられる or 見る to see, to watch, 見る, 見られる. They're passive form. So in u verbs, 読む, and you hold the 読む until m, and then instead of you put あれる sound together. So 読む becomes 読まれる to read, 遊ぶ to play, 遊ばれる, 買う to buy, 買われる. So 買われる and the u verbs with ending of u, and we have to add w sound before あれる, this conjugation. So 買う becomes 買われる. 言う becomes 言われる. And those 2 irregular verbs. 来る is 来られる in passive form. する in passive form. される. Right. And that's the passive form. So the second one, causative. 食べさせる. 食べさせる. For example, I have written 2 examples. The first one, お母さんが子供にピーマンを食べさせる。お母さんが子供にピーマンを食べさせる。お母さんが子供にピーマンを食べさせる。The second one. 彼女が彼氏にチョコを食べさせる。彼女が彼氏にチョコを食べさせる。彼女が彼氏にチョコを食べさせる。お母さんが the mother, 子供に as an object, the child, ピーマン that's a green pepper, 食べる、食べさせる so it's a causative. So to force somebody, to make someone to do something. So お母さんが子供にピーマンを食べさせる. The mother makes or lets the child eat green pepper. 彼女が彼氏にチョコを食べさせる. The girlfriend, 彼女. The boyfriend, 彼氏にチョコを the chocolate 食べる、食べさせる. The girlfriend makes or lets the boyfriend eat chocolate. So causative forms. Grammatically, it refers both makes or let, to make or to let somebody. But you can't really tell so which one the speaker means by making somebody or letting somebody do this. It really depends on the person's personality maybe, or the situation. And when you want to mean let nuance or as a favor, we usually put those helping verbs. 手あげる、手くれる、手もらう. So if you want to make it clear that it's not that you're not forced to, or you're just doing a favor to another person, you put 手あげる. Or when you're being done, 手くれる、手もらう. So that will help the context of the sentence. So otherwise, 食べさせる, this させる is called causative. So basically, it's to make somebody to do something, to let somebody do something. And causative form in those 3 different verb types, ru verbs, for example, 食べる becomes 食べさせる。見る 見させる. So you simply remove る and replace it with the させる. And u verbs, again, the last, for example, 読む 読む until m remains there and you replace it with あせる. 読む becomes 読ませる to read, 遊ぶ to play, 遊ばせる. 買う to buy again. So u verbs ending with u, literally u, you have to be careful with putting w sound before せる. So 買う becomes 買わせる. To say 言う becomes 言わせる. And the regular ones, 来る is 来させる。する、させる。Right. And the last one. 食べさせられる。させる plus られる。Passive. So causative passive it's called. So we just had a look. The ピーマン thing. ピーマン thing. お母さんが子供にピーマンを食べさせる。So in this sentence, お母さん, the mother was the subject. The main person who does the thing. 食べさせる. But the second sentence, 子供が is the subject. So 子供がお母さんにピーマンを食べさせられる. So 子供 has been passively made to do something. So you have to change the subject and by somebody, this part. So the mother makes or lets the child eat green pepper. And when you want to make 食べさせられる causative-passive sentence, the 子供に part becomes 子供が. The child is being forced to eat green pepper by the mother. お母さん、子供がお母さんにピーマンを食べさせられる。食べさせられる。So let's have a look at the 3 different types of verbs, conjugation. Causative passive form. る verbs. 食べる becomes 食べさせられる。見る becomes 見せられる。But u verbs, you have to be careful. U verbs ending with す For example, to speak, 話す to talk, 消す to erase, 押す to push, 回す to turn something around, to rotate. These u verbs ending with す that would be 話す、話させられる. But the other ones, the other u verbs, instead of 読ませられる, we usually say 読まされる. So instead of 読まさせられる, we say 読まされる. So it makes it shorter. So 話す、話させられる is longest. 食べさせられる longest. But u verbs, except す endings, it's a bit shorter. 読む to read, 読まされる. To play 遊ぶ、遊ばされる。買う to buy 買わされる。言う to say 言わされる。Irregular ones 来る、来させられる just like the verbs する、させられる。So when you know する、させられる you put this one after 食べ or み or こ and you can make causative passive form. Right, so you can just review now. 食べる、食べられる、食べさせる、食べさせられる。Passive, causative, causative, and passive. Now we can practice a bit. 読む to read. 読む。読む was the u verb. 読む in passive form, causative, passive form. You getting the answer in the head? Passive one. 読まれる。読む、読まれる。Causative, 読ませる。Causative-Passive, 読まされる。読まされる。Let's have a look at the examples. How do you say, I had my diary read by my father? My diary has been read by my father. How do you say this? Right. There's all the answers, right? The teacher makes students read difficult books using yomaseru. Are you thinking? Are you thinking? The students are forced to read difficult books by the teacher. So the other way around of the second one, yomasareru. Did you find that the answers? I had my diary read by my father. The teacher makes students read difficult books. The students are forced to read difficult books by the teacher. 読まれる日記 diary お父さんに by my father 読まれた I had my diary has been read 日記お父さんに読まれた読まれる読まれた past tense 先生は the teacher 学生たち学生に難しい本 difficult books 読ませる読ませる so the teacher forces the teacher lets students read the difficult books the other way around 読まされる the students are the subject so 学生 or 学生たちは sorry I just forgot to erase に学生たちは先生に by the teacher 難しい本を読まされる読まされる And that's it. I hope you now get a grip of those られる、させる、させられる That's all for today. Thank you for watching. お疲れ様でした。If you want to practice Japanese with us and meet your new classmates, you're more than welcome to join us. おかえりスクール